Netflix helped me catch my missing daughter of 4 years. I came home from the grocery store on a Saturday afternoon and did what I always did. I set the bags on the counter, kicked off my shoes, and turned on Netflix to have something playing in the background while I put everything away. The TV flickered to life, already logged into our family account. That's when I saw it. A profile I didn't recognize. The icon was a generic blue circle, and the name read, Guest. My stomach did a small flip. We'd had issues with account sharing before. My son had given the password to a friend who'd given it to someone else. I'd changed the password 6 months ago and deleted all the extra profiles. This one shouldn't exist. I opened the profile. The continue watching list showed 3 episodes of a reality show I'd never heard of, all watched within the past week. The most recent one had been streaming just 20 minutes ago, paused at the 34-minute mark. I checked the account settings. No new devices had been authorized. No login notifications in my email. Whoever was using this profile had access from before I changed the password, or they'd found another way in. I called my son, David. He answered on the 3rd ring with loud music in the background. Hey mom, what's up? Did you give our Netflix password to anyone recently? No, you told me not to after last time. Why? There's a profile on our account I don't recognize. It's been active this week. Weird. Maybe dad made it? Your father barely knows how to work the remote. He didn't make a mystery profile. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's a glitch or something. I hung up and stared at the screen. The profile showed viewing history going back 11 days. Always late at night, between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. Always the same types of shows. Reality TV, true crime documentaries, cooking competitions. The pattern felt deliberate, human, not a glitch. I grabbed my laptop and logged into Netflix from there. The guest profile appeared on my computer too, with the same watch history. I clicked through the account activity log, looking at IP addresses and device information. Everything showed as coming from devices in my own house. My smart TV, my laptop, David's old iPad we kept in the kitchen. The iPad. I walked to the kitchen and found it plugged in next to the coffee maker where it always sat. We used it for recipes and music while cooking. I never thought about it being connected to Netflix. I opened the Netflix app. The guest profile was selected. I checked the recently watched list. That reality show was paused at 34 minutes, exactly where the TV had shown it. Someone had been watching Netflix on this iPad in my kitchen 20 minutes ago, while I was at the grocery store, while my house was supposed to be empty. My husband was at work. David was at college 3 hours away. Nobody else had keys to our house. I walked through every room slowly, listening for any sound that didn't belong. The house was silent, empty. I checked the doors and windows. Everything was locked from the inside. I went back to the kitchen and stared at the iPad. The profile had been created 11 days ago according to the account settings. I tried to remember where I'd been 11 days ago. What had been different? Nothing came to mind. Just normal days, normal routines. I opened the Ring app on my phone and started scrolling through the camera footage from our front door. We'd installed it 2 years ago after a package theft in the neighborhood. I scrolled back through the past 11 days, watching the timestamps. I saw myself leaving for work, coming home, getting the mail, my husband doing the same, David visiting last weekend, the usual delivery drivers. Nothing unusual until I reached 8 days ago. The footage showed the front door opening at 1:47 a.m. Nobody walked out. The door just opened slightly, about 6 inches, then closed again after 4 seconds. I replayed it 5 times. The door opened from the inside, paused, closed, like someone was checking to see if anyone was outside. I scrolled forward. At 2:13 a.m., the door opened again. This time it stayed open for 9 seconds. I could see a sliver of our entryway, the edge of the coat closet. Then it closed. The next night showed the same pattern. Door opening slightly at 1:52 a.m., closing, opening again at 2:20 a.m. for a few seconds. Someone was in my house. Someone had been in my house for at least 8 nights, living here while we slept, leaving through the front door in the middle of the night and coming back. I sat down at the kitchen table because my legs wouldn't hold me anymore. My hands were shaking as I called my husband. He answered immediately. What's wrong? You sound weird. I need you to come home right now. Are you hurt? What happened? Someone's been in our house, living here. I can see them on the Ring camera. I'm calling the police. I'm 20 minutes away. Don't go anywhere. Stay on the phone with me. I'm fine. Just come home. I hung up and dialed 911. 2 officers arrived within 15 minutes. I showed them the Netflix profile, the iPad, the Ring footage. They searched every room, every closet, the attic, the basement, the garage. They found nothing. No sign of forced entry, no evidence anyone was hiding in the house right now. One of the officers, a woman with dark hair pulled back in a tight bun, sat down across from me at the kitchen table. Ma'am, is there anyone who has access to your home? Anyone who might have kept a key? No, just me, my husband, and our son. What about previous owners? House sitters? Dog walkers? We've lived here for 6 years. We changed the locks when we moved in. We don't have pets. The officer made notes on a small pad. What about your son? Could he have given a key to a friend? David's at college, and he wouldn't do that without telling us. The officer looked at the iPad again, scrolling through the guest profile. This person has very specific viewing habits. Always late at night. Always while you're presumably asleep. They're comfortable here. They know your schedule. Her words made my skin crawl. My husband arrived while the officers were still there. He listened to everything, his face getting paler with each detail. The officers said they'd file a report and increase patrols in our neighborhood. They recommended we change our locks immediately and consider installing more cameras inside the house. After they left, my husband and I sat in the living room, not saying anything for a long time. Finally, he spoke. Maybe it's someone who had access before we bought the place. Maybe they kept a key. We changed the lock 6 years ago. Then I don't know. Maybe they found a way in through a window or something. The officers checked everything. No forced entry. We sat in silence again. I couldn't stop thinking about those nights. Someone moving through our house while we slept upstairs. Someone sitting in our kitchen watching Netflix on our iPad. Someone opening our front door at 2 a.m. to check if the coast was clear. That night, neither of us slept. We kept the bedroom door locked and took turns staying awake to listen for sounds. The house settled and creaked like it always did, but every noise felt threatening. Every shadow looked wrong. At 1:30 a.m., I crept downstairs with my phone flashlight and checked the iPad. The guest profile showed no new activity. I sat at the kitchen table in the dark and waited. Nothing happened. The next morning, we had new locks installed on every door. We added cameras in the kitchen, living room, and both hallways. The technician who installed them asked if we'd had a break-in. We told him yes, even though nothing had been taken. Even though the only evidence was Netflix activity and ring footage of our own door opening from the inside. That afternoon, I couldn't focus on anything. I kept checking the camera feeds on my phone every few minutes. The house stayed empty, except for me. At 3 p.m., I opened the Netflix app again and looked at the guest profile. No new activity since the day before, when it had been paused at 34 minutes. I clicked on the account settings and hovered my cursor over the delete profile button. Then I stopped. If I deleted it, I'd lose the ability to track if this person came back. I left it active and added a password requirement for profile switching instead. Now they'd need to enter a PIN to access the guest profile. If they tried and failed, I'd know someone was still attempting to use it. 3 days passed with no activity. No unexplained door openings on the Ring camera. No movement on the new interior cameras. No attempts to access the guest profile. My husband suggested maybe whoever it was had gotten scared off when they realized we'd noticed. Maybe they saw the new cameras or the locksmith's truck and decided it wasn't safe anymore. I wanted to believe him. On the 4th night, I was lying in bed scrolling through my phone when I got a notification from Netflix. Someone was watching. I opened the app. The guest profile was streaming a true crime documentary. Started 3 minutes ago. I jumped out of bed and grabbed my husband's arm. He woke up confused and groggy until I showed him my phone. We both ran downstairs, turning on every light as we went. The living room was empty. The kitchen was empty. I checked the iPad. The screen was black. I tapped it and it showed the home screen, not Netflix. I pulled up the new camera feeds on my phone. All of them showed empty rooms with timestamp from the past 30 seconds. Nobody was in our house, but someone was watching Netflix on our account right now. My husband looked over my shoulder at my phone where the Netflix app still showed the guest profile streaming. How is this possible? They're not in the house. I checked the account activity log on my laptop. The current